Hey guys, Kyle the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for Eden Zero Chapter 35. Okay, so just getting right into it. I don't know about the rest of you, but between the beginning and the ending of this chapter, I was practically screaming, Homura, what the hell are you doing? And I'm taking that question quite literally right now because if I don't get something that's even akin to an answer next chapter, I'm going to rage. Although to be fair, it wasn't. Although to be fair, it wasn't entire. Although to be fair, I guess there is a couple more details we can kind of glean from just the fact that that Homura in the beginning of the chapter had said to meet in order to meet with Jamarov, which is that just the fact that Homura has chosen to do that and ally herself with basically Jamarov and probably in the future the Six Generals does mean that she is planning to use the organization for something. So at least we know that there's something about the six demon generals in the organization itself that she needs their help to achieve. But whatever the hell her goal is and what she plans to achieve with their resources and knowledge and whatnot is kind of beyond me. And I'll be honest, when I basically saw Shiki, who once again spewing his friendship speech to Hermit, I got a little worried. But going back to what Homura did in this chapter with just the reveal of her betraying the Eden Zero crew and whatnot, I think her actions are going to drive Hermit even further down her pit of hatred towards humans. Or at the very least, it's gonna put her belief to the test because or at the very least, the confrontation between Homura and Shiki at this point is gonna put all her faith to the test because we know that Shiki is not gonna take this sitting down. We know that Shiki is gonna want some answers, and I don't know if Mashima is planning to take it this far, but what I'm hoping he's planning to do is that he's going to make the journey pretty much towards Homura's redemption and rejoining the crew an entirely separate arc from the current one we're in. Otherwise, and I think that would make the most. And despite what I know of Mashima and the way he tells his stories, I'm hoping that is the case because it's the only thing that makes the most sense in this current situation. Because otherwise. Because it would contribute to both Hermit's development, and it would give Shiki some much needed development as well, which we'll get into. But yeah, otherwise her being the thing is I'm just hoping that's the case because her being if she's forgiven by the end of this arc, it's just the pacing of that is gonna seem really really freaking unnatural to me. I'm hoping that whatever he's planning to do with, I'm hoping that what I'm saying is that I'm hoping that Homura actually kind of stays like a bad guy, a villain or an antagonist for just a little while longer almost from this at the very least. Plus, I think between Hermit's refusal to join Shiki still and Homura's betrayal. Again, I feel that there's some real genuine potential in order to develop Shiki on an emotional level, and realize that when it comes to friendship, that there's definitely a lot more to it than just saying the words "we're friends." And in fact, looking at Hermit's mindset, pretty much is where we pretty much throughout this arc, and looking at Hermit's mindset on an objective level, I've actually found one flaw I think that Shiki desperately needs to work past as a character, and hopefully he does, which is his whole assumption, which is the whole assumptions that Shiki has that just because the Starshines were allied with Ziggy, he's under the assumption right now that just because the Starshines were allied with Ziggy that pretty much naturally means that all the Starshines are going to rally around him, and Hermit is a perfect example of saying no, they won't. So basically, what I want Mashima to do, and what I want Shiki what I want Shiki to do in terms of his development is he needs to stop using his grandfather's name as a crutch and prove that he himself is worthy of Hermit's trust. Because obviously I think what Shiki needs to realize is that using his grandfather as a means to in order to gain at the very least Hermit's trust is kind of out the window now. So he needs to prove that he himself is worthy of being an even better Demon King than pretty much his grandfather, and one who isn't going to break any kind of vow or anything to pretty much Hermit. Which, yeah, I still want to know as to what exactly what kind of thing that, as to what it did was that pretty much Ziggy told Hermit that pretty much broke her. I want to know the details behind that for sure. So yeah, and as far as the battle itself in this chapter goes, it went pretty much as expected when it comes to how Mashima pretty much choreographs these big army-sized fights. But where I really started to get into it, however, is when the ogre guy had showed up and he started wrecking dudes. When Edward started wrecking dudes around the end of it, and him getting taken up by Jam. And as well as him getting taken out by Jamarov, just seeing the ogre guy on the battle, for me, the battle itself was good, but somehow once the battle focused on that ogre NPC guy or ogre boss, that was pretty much around the time where I was like, okay, I'm strangely getting into this. I'm liking what this ogre guy can do on the battlefield, and even if he ended up getting himself I guess axed or something like that, if he ended up getting taken out, it was still amazing to see him go in specifically. And one thing I think and also one thing I did like about this chapter too is with the ogre's inclusion with the ogre boss's inclusion, is that it not only adds to the battle, but I think when we see what he says, when we look at the words of what the ogre boss says, and what even the surroundings around, and even the surroundings surroundings of the NPCs cowering in fear and whatnot, and the battle and whatnot, we really start to see that the line between NPCs and players in this chapter has all but pretty much been destroyed. I'd say that the line between what an NPC is and what a player is, it's not even there anymore. It's really, it makes in a short time, at least for me, Mashima has presented it in a way that, yeah, these people aren't. There's no difference between players and NPCs. They're pretty much all just people now, and while I will admit I would have liked a more build up to that. I do like how Mashima is showing just how there really is barely difference between real people and NPCs now. They're pretty much all worth protecting, even if NPCs are just data. The NPCs have actually worked past their programming, and yeah, they've become real people now, and ones with feelings, emotions, all that stuff. It's something I think Mashima probably could have built up a little more, but from what it is, it's pretty good, I'd say. But yeah, guys, that's my review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, AniList, or Crunchyroll. Death Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.